Hello there, this is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? In today's video we're going to do a slightly different version of what we've done recently. I'm going to open up Google Maps, show you a different country rather than a city. Then we're going to look at the flag, talk about the flag design. And using Wikipedia, we're going to read a little bit about the country itself. This is, of course, an ASMR video, so it's meant to be calm and relaxing. But on this channel, we also like to learn something as we fall asleep. So I'll mostly be talking in soft spoken in today's video and reading to you, but we also look at some maps and some flags as well. I'll drop into a whisper every now and again, and I hope that you really enjoy this educational style ASMR video. So we're going to try and do about 4 different countries around the globe today. I'm not going to stay in one place like just the Americas or just Europe. We're going to travel far and wide. If I don't get through your country today, then why don't you drop me a little comment below and suggest your country for the next video in this series. So we're going to get through about 4 countries today. Let's start with Canada. So Canada is here, as we can see, and we'll read about it. It is an enormous country. Off the top of my head, I think it's the 2nd largest country in the world in landmass after Russia. And actually it does come just next to Russia. So Russia is here, and then Canada is here. I suppose that has a large bearing on why it's such a large country, because, you know, who's going to want to try and take over this part of the country where barely no one lives, for example? Same thing with Russia, no one really lives in this part here, because the temperatures and the lack of ability to grow crops and things like that. So fun facts that I've learned about Canada. I've said them a couple of times, but maybe you're new to the channel, so welcome, hello. Some fun facts about Canada. So, as we said, Canada is the 2nd largest country in the world. It, I believe, has the longest shoreline of any country in the world. Most of the people who live in Canada live underneath this line here, so they live there, in this Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa little triangle. The vast majority of the population of Canada lives here. And the other fun fact is, on the curve of the Earth, the lowest point of Canada, which is just here, maybe if you say mainland Canada, but also there's this island here, what's that called? Peely Island South. Peely Island. That is lower than the northernmost point of California. So it's this whole idea that California is hot and Canada's freezing cold isn't quite correct, because there is the top of California, and that, on the curvature of the Earth, is actually a little bit higher, more northern than this tiny bit here down the bottom of Canada. Okay, so that's Canada within the context of the planet. Let's learn about its flag. Of course, the maple leaf. We've got this red, white, and red vertical. I always get horizontal and vertical wrong. Vertical stripes. Red on the left, I want to say a double width of white in the middle and red on the right, and then the red maple leaf in the middle, which apparently has been the symbol of Canada for centuries, even before they sought independence from Britain and France. It says here the flag of Canada was introduced in 1965 using Pantone colours. This design replaced the Canadian red ensign design. So it's quite a recognisable flag. So Canada, country in North America. Canada is a country in North America. Its 10 provinces and 3 territories extend from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean and northward into the Arctic Ocean, making it the second largest country by total area with the longest coastline of any country. I love being right about things. Sometimes I talk absolute nonsense, though, so you need to call me out in the comments section if I've misunderstood or misremembered something. I'm not like an actual expert, I'm just a geek. Its border with the United States is the longest international land border. The country is characterized by a wide range of both meteorologic and geological regions, with a population of over 41 million, which is actually less than Great Britain, less than England alone, I think. It has widely varying population densities, with the majority residing in its urban areas, no shock, and large areas being sparsely populated. Its capital is Ottawa, and its 3 largest metropolitan areas are Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. Ottawa being nowhere near the largest city in this particular country. And up until maybe like 6 months, a year ago, I still got confused between Ottawa and Ontario. And Ontario is the, I'm going to say province, it's definitely not a state. I don't think it's a territory, I think it's a province. Yeah, Ontario is this massive one here. Actually, if I click on it, will it tell me if it's a state or a territory? Province. Obviously not a state, I just said that. Yeah, it's a province. Quick facts. Motto of Canada is Amari usque ad mare, from sea to sea. Anthem O Canada. It's a very cute anthem, actually, I really like it. And the royal anthem, because it is still a part of the, what do we call that thing now? Oh, my mind has gone completely blank. We have games, because if the monarch is still the head of state, like in Australia, New Zealand and Canada, then you're a part of the Commonwealth. So they're a part, even though they're an independent nation from Britain and France, it's still a part of the Commonwealth. So capital is Ottawa, Toronto, English and French being the official languages, particularly French in the region around Montreal, which is Quebec. Although I've looked into it, and the French spoken there is a little different to the French spoken in France. Not massively, but I think that it's noticeable in the way that the accent I find much softer when I've heard it spoken, not quite as nasal, and there are different words which are used for certain things, similar to British English and American English, I assume. But when I have listened to a lot of Celine Dion singing in French, and it's very, very understandable, so I don't think it's that big an issue. Canadian is obviously the demonym, monarch is Charles III because of that relationship we just spoke about. And the lovely Mark Carney is the Prime Minister at the moment. Mary Simon is the Governor General. And the independence from the United Kingdom came in 1867 on July the 1st. And the patriation actually came on the year that I was born, April 17th, just 3 weeks before I was born, 1982. Area second in the world, 9,984,670 kilometers squared, which is approximately 3.8 million square miles. Total land area is 9 million kilometers squared. Population 41.5 million, which has gone down. I don't know why there's a grey arrow going down. It's gone up since the census in 2021, which was 36.9 million. Density 4.2 for every kilometre squared, which is, it must be one of the smallest on the planet, surely. I wonder what Russia's is, because Russia actually has about 200 million people living there, or so I think. I'm really interested to know. This is the way my brain works. I'm like doing this when I can't sleep at night. I end up searching ridiculous facts. People are like, how do you know all these weird things? Because I can't sleep. And I end up looking all these ridiculous facts up. Density 8.4, yeah, so actually Canada is one of the most sparsely populated, considering its size. I mean, oh, I thought I was going to go back to Canada. It did. Okay, where were we? I'm not going to pretend I understand all these things about GDP, but the GDP is good. 16th in the world, $2.7 trillion. $65,500 per capita, 30th in the world. GDP takes it as 10th in the total. Currency is the Canadian dollar. Time zone is UTC minus 3.5, reaching to minus 8. I suppose that would be over in Vancouver, that would be minus 8. And in the summer that shrinks to minus 7 from minus 2.5. That's crazy. So minus 2.5 in the summer, so somewhere near Nova Scotia will only be 2.5 hours different to Great Britain. Is that what UTC is? I was expecting Coordinated Universal Time, UTC. Is that the same as Greenwich? Yeah, more or less. Okay. Calling code +1. Really? I thought the USA was +1. Or was it 0? Another diversion. +1. Oh, it's the same, really. So funny. We have completely different ones in Europe. And the internet TLD is .ca for Canada, obviously. Okay, let's learn a little bit. Indigenous peoples have continuously inhabited what is now Canada for thousands of years. Beginning in the 16th century, British and French expeditions explored and later settled along the Atlantic coast. As a consequence of various armed forces or armed conflicts, France ceded nearly all of its colonies in North America in 1763. In 1867, with the union of 3 British North American colonies through confederation, Canada was formed as a federal dominion of 4 provinces. This began an accretion of provinces and territories, resulting in their displacement of indigenous populations, and a process of increasing autonomy from the United Kingdom. This increased sovereignty was highlighted by the Statute of Westminster 1931 and culminated in the Canada Act of 1982, when I was born, which severed the vestiges of legal dependence on the Parliament of the United Kingdom. Really, as late as that, I thought Canada was like a lot older in its current form. It's as old as I am. Canada is a parliamentary democracy and a constitutional monarchy in the Westminster tradition. The country's head of government is the Prime Minister, who holds office by virtue of their ability to command the confidence of the elected House of Commons, and is appointed by the Governor-General, representing the monarch of Canada, the ceremonial head of state. The country is a Commonwealth realm and is officially bilingual, English and French, français, in the federal jurisdiction. It is very highly ranked in international measurements of government transparency, quality of life, economic competitiveness, innovation, education, and human rights. It is one of the world's most ethnically diverse and multicultural nations, the product of large-scale immigration. Canada's long and complex relationship with the United States has had a significant impact on its history, economy, and culture. A developed country, Canada has a high nominal per capita income globally, and its advanced economy ranks among the largest in the world by nominal GDP, relying chiefly upon its abundant natural resources and well-developed international trade networks. Canada is recognized as a middle power. Its support for multilateralism and internationalism has been closely related to its foreign policies of peacekeeping and aid for developing countries. Canada promotes its domestically shared values through participation in multiple international organizations and forums. I had this obsession with Canada when I was a kid. I've talked about it on this channel before. I really wanted to go and live there, and I wanted to go to study there in university. I had this obsession when I was about 10. I've still never been though, can you believe it? Really, really want to go though. I was talking about it today with my mum. I took my mum for lunch because it was her birthday, and she was saying that she might go to Canada soon. I said, oh yes, that would be wonderful. I'd love to go to Canada myself. I think I read somewhere that maybe the 3rd most spoken language, I was expecting it to be Spanish in Canada, but I think it might be Italian. I wonder if I can find that data somewhere. When they were talking about multiculturalism and ethnically diverse. And also, when I was a teacher, I got asked to go on the history trip to Belgium and northern France to visit sites that were important in the Second World War. And whilst we were in, I believe it was Belgium, we went to a Canadian, what is it called? Well, basically, it's legally part of Canada within Belgium, and it's a museum as well. So you go there, and I think they might have graves there as well of the Canadian troops that fell during the war, of which there were many because Canada really helped in the Second World War, and they kept like the trenches that were there, and the kids were walking around the trenches. It's very surreal. But yeah, as you get to the car park. We drove up in the school bus, this big coach, and there's a massive big sign with a plaque on it. It's got the Canadian insignia, the maple leaf, and it's got Canadian flags everywhere, and I think maybe even like actual army from Canada is stationed there, because I think it's legally still part of Canada, but I could be talking complete nonsense, you never know. If you think you know what I'm talking about, then maybe fill me in the comment section. I should really pay more attention. Okay, so that is Canada. And we're going to move on. Okay, now we're going to go to South Africa. The Rainbow Nation. So the South Africa is easy to find because it literally is called how to find it, to go to the south of Africa. And I think the most southernly based town is in Argentina or Chile, but South Africa is curiously quite close to Antarctica. It's one of, I think maybe Cape Town is like the largest city. Oh, hang on, let's just check where New Zealand is. Oh no, look, New Zealand's more southerly, and Tasmania is. There's some weird fact in my head about having maybe it's one of the most populated cities to the south. Oh, I'm not sure now. There's some fact in there somewhere. And the Rainbow Nation, South Africa, has got a very different approach to capital cities. They don't really have like a centralized single capital where you have a centralized government and power. It's spread across the country. It also has stunning beaches along its southern tip and extremely high mountains towards its northern area. It also completely engulfs the country here, and it's not pronounced, in case you don't know, this is not Lesotho, it's pronounced Lesotho with an U and a T, Lesotho. But yeah, it's completely within the borders of South Africa. Whereas Eswatini also has Mozambique, as well as 75% of it around South Africa. Namibia also borders it. Namibia is probably up there with Canada in terms of one of the most sparsely populated countries in the world because for its enormous size. Off the top of my head, there's like 4 million people living there. It's really empty. And then South Africa's here, so we've got Cape Town, Bloemfontein, Johannesburg, and Pretoria. Durban's over here as well. I think people always say Joburg for like Johannesburg as a short term for it. South Africa has got a very attractive English pronunciation. It's somewhere in, because there are so many languages in South Africa, including something, well, English is spoken, as well as a language called Afrikaans, which started off as a Creole of Dutch, with bits of English and German in it. But then there are also truly native languages which are spoken here, such as Zulu, and also Xhosa. I'm not sure if I'm saying the first part correct, but there's a click. It's written Xhosa, and I learned that the XH is like a click, so it's like a Xhosa. Very similar to that, but I don't think that's the right click. There are 3 clicks, I think. And Zulu and Xhosa are related. They are Bantu languages. And distantly related would be Swahili, which is spoken up here. And the fun thing about Bantu languages is grammatically they change by changing the beginning of the word. And there are like different categories of words. But if you are talking about something, you have to change the adjective and the verb to match the noun. So if the noun is like an M word, because it's describing something in nature, then if you're saying like, let's just make up a word, right? So let's say tree is mamu, for example. I hope it's not something rude in Swahili. Then the adjective, let's say the adjective is little, it would have to be mittel. You'd have to change the first letter to match that particular class of noun, like an M. And if you want to say is big, then that would also have to start with an M, so you'd have to say mig. So it'd be like whatever I said tree was. So everything would have to start with an M. It's truly fascinating and very different to what we're used to in European languages and even Asian languages. And it's the only other language or language class I've met that changes the first letter of words in the way that both Welsh, Irish and other Celtic languages like Scots Gaelic does, and Breton and Cornish and Manx. So we change the first letter, not to the extent that they do in Bantu languages. But yeah, I found that particularly interesting that happens in another language, but way more. South Africa. Let's look at South Africa's flag. And it's called the Rainbow Nation for a reason. It has a beautiful flag. We got this black triangle on the left with a border in bright yellow. We got this Y, sideways Y in green, which has a border of white. And then you've sort of got a Dutch flag here. You've got the reddy orange at the top here and the blue down the bottom. So it's like Netherlands crossed with Jamaica. Yeah, so the flag of South Africa, the national flag, it's a pretty attractive one, if I may say so myself. South Africa, a country in southern Africa, funnily enough. Mzansi redirects here. Is that the word for South Africa in... Oh yeah, Ngosa. Umzansi, meaning south. Mzansi may also refer to South African political party and cricket franchise for 2020 cricket. South Africa, officially the Republic of South Africa, RSA, is the southernmost country in Africa. Its 9 provinces are bounded to the south by 2,798 kilometers, 1,739 miles of coastline that stretches along the South Atlantic and Indian Ocean. To the north, by the neighbouring countries of Namibia, Botswana and Zimbabwe. To the east and northeast by Mozambique and Eswatini, and it encloses Lesotho, covering an area of 1,221,037 square kilometres, or 471,445 square miles. The country has a population of over 63 million people, making it the 6th most populated country in Africa. Pretoria is the administrative capital, while Cape Town is the seat of Parliament. As the seat of Parliament is the I don't understand that sentence. Pretoria is the administrative capital, while Cape Town, as the seat of Parliament, is the legislative capital, and Bloemfontein is regarded as the judicial capital. The largest and most populous city is Johannesburg, followed by Cape Town and Durban. I'm going to click on Namibia and just look at its population density, because that was talked about a second ago. Where are you? Density. 3.7 is actually smaller. Yes, population is just 3 million. I said 4. And it's 3.7 per kilometre squared, so it's less than Canada. So weird that one country is 3 million, the one next to is 64, was it 64 million? 63 million. Okay, quick facts. 10 other official languages. Afrikaans, Republiek van Zuid-Afrika. I said that completely wrong, but I'm sorry. I tried. The Republic of South Africa, obviously. Zulu, Xhosa, Pedi, Southern Sotho, Tswana, Tsonga, Swati, Venda, and Southern Ndebele. And when I talk about the first letter changing, often it adds like a letter here, like an E or an S or an whatever, because then languages need to have certain letters in front of them. I think that's why Swatini is called Eswatini. I think the language will probably be called something like Swatini or whatever. That shows the class that it's in. Eswatini is a country, Swatini would be the language, for example. So we talked about the flag, this is the coat of arms. Okay, I can't read that, but the motto is something like Ike e Kara Ike. I think these are clicks, but I can't tell what clicks they are. Unity and diversity. And the anthem is the national anthem of South Africa. So we talked about the capitals. Johannesburg is the largest city, 12 languages including English and sign language. We talked about those other 10. And then special status, all these including German, Greek, Gujarati. I worked with someone who was like Indian ethnicity, but was South African. There's a lot of people who speak Hindi and Gujarati, Telugu, Tamil, etc. there. Arabic, Hebrew and Sanskrit as well. Those are the ethnic groups, so 81% black, 8% coloured, 7% white, 2% Indian or Asian. Religion 85% Christianity. Demonym South African. President is Cyril Ramaphosa. And independence from the UK was in 31st of May 1910. Oh, I see. So did we... Oh, I thought it was the Dutch. Maybe we took it from the Dutch or something. Area is 1,221,000 square kilometres, 471,000 square miles, 24th largest country in the world, population of 63 million, makes it the 23rd most populated country in the world. We said it was 6th in Africa. I think the top 3 in Africa, as I usually say, are Nigeria, Ethiopia and Egypt. I'm not sure which are the next 2 above here. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Maybe Algeria, no. Democratic Republic of Congo, perhaps. GDP is 33rd in the world. Currency is the South African rand. Time zone is actually UTC +2. It's very so someone explained to me when I was much younger that you don't get jet lag flying to South Africa from the UK because you fly down and therefore you don't really change time zones too much. And I thought jet lag was like how long you're in a plane, but it's actually related obviously to do with time zones. Like you leave in the morning and you get there in the morning and your body's like, I'm tired, I'd have to start the day. So that doesn't happen. You can be in the air for 8 hours to get to South Africa, but it'll be like 10 hours since you left. And calling code +27, and the internet code is .za for South Africa in Afrikaans, Z, Afrika. Archaeological findings suggest that various hominid species existed in South Africa about 2.5 million years ago, and modern humans inhabited the region over 100,000 years ago. The first known people were the indigenous Khoisan and Bantu, that's what I said, speaking peoples who migrated in waves from West and Central Africa to the region 2 to 1,000 years ago. In the north, the kingdom of Mapungubwe, formed in the 13th century, and the Venda kingdom in the 17th century. In 1652, the Dutch established the first European settlement at Table Bay, Dutch Cape Colony. Its invasion in 1795 and the Battle of Blauberg in 1806 led to British occupation. The Umfekane, a period of significant upheaval, led to the formation of various African kingdoms, including the Zulu kingdom. The region was further colonized, and the mineral revolution saw a shift towards industrialization and urbanization. Following the Second Boer War, the Union of South Africa was created in 1910 after the amalgamation of the Cape, Natal, Transvaal and Orange River colonies, becoming a republic after the 1961 referendum. The multiracial Cape qualified franchise in the Cape was gradually eroded, and the vast majority of black South Africans were not enfranchised until 1994. The National Party imposed apartheid in 1948, institutionalizing previous racial segregation. Terrible. After a struggle by the African National Congress and other anti-apartheid activists, both inside and outside the country, the repeal of discriminatory laws began in the mid-80s. Universal elections took place in 1994, following which all racial groups have held political representation in the country's liberal democracy, which comprises a parliamentary republic and 9 provinces. Recognised as a middle power in international affairs, South Africa maintains significant regional influence as a member of the BRICS+, the African Union, hosting the seat of the Pan-African Parliament, SADC, SACU, the Commonwealth of Nations and the G20. A developing and newly industrialized country, it has the largest economy in Africa by nominal GDP, is tied with Ethiopia for the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Africa, and is a biodiversity hotspot with unique biomes, plant and animal life. South Africa encompasses a variety of cultures, languages and religions, and has been called the Rainbow Nation, especially in the wake of apartheid, to describe its diversity. Since the end of apartheid, government accountability and quality of life have substantially improved for non-white citizens. However, crime, violence, poverty and inequality remain widespread, with about 32% of the population unemployed as of 2024, while some 56% live below the poverty line in 2014. Having the highest Gini coefficient of 0.67, South Africa is considered one of the most economically unequal countries in the world. And off the top of my head, I think, because of the Constitution saying that all people, regardless of the colour of their skin, religion, etc., should be treated equally, South Africa might be the only country in Africa that recognises gay rights and is considerably safer for queer people than the rest of Africa. I wonder if it says anything about that anywhere. The biodiversity, the springbok, demographics, languages, which we spoke about earlier on. Religion, which we've mentioned as well. Education, health, urbanization. Oh, it doesn't mention anything, but that's fine. Okay. Right. This has taken way longer than I was expecting, but I'm enjoying every second of it, so who cares? Let's do another one, and we'll see if I can get to 4, but I will definitely do 3. Okay, we did a little bit talking about India last time, and I talked about Pakistan next door being one of the, I think is in the top 10 most populated countries in the world. So Pakistan, officially the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, is a country in South Asia. It is the 5th most populated country. Wow, I didn't realise it was that high up. With a population of over 241 million. Wow. Having the 2nd largest Muslim population as of 2023. Islamabad is the nation's capital, while Karachi is the largest city and financial centre. So, just to show you within the context, this is Asia, these are the Himalayan mountains, and Pakistan is here to the north, to the south of those mountains. And let's learn about Pakistan. So, I do like the flag of Pakistan. It's got this white horizontal band on the left hand side, this beautiful deep green colour, usually associated with Muslim countries, and then just like many Muslim countries including Turkey, which does this on red, it has the crescent moon in white with a 5-pointed star in white as well. So, Pakistan, officially the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, is a country in South Asia. It is the 5th most populous country, with a population of over 241.5 million, and growing, having the 2nd largest Muslim population as of 2023. To put it into context, I was talking to someone before and I said, what do you think, which Muslim countries do you think have the largest population? And someone said to me, oh, Saudi Arabia. I don't think Saudi Arabia has even got 40 million. Pakistan, 240 million. And then Indonesia is even more. So people don't think that Indonesia and Pakistan would be the most populous Muslim countries. They are expecting somewhere in the Middle East or North Africa, but far from it. Islamabad is the nation's capital, while Karachi is its largest city and financial centre. Pakistan is the 33rd largest country by area, bounded by the Arabian Sea on the south, the Gulf of Oman on the southwest, and the Sia Creek on the southeast. It shares land with borders with India to the east, Afghanistan to the west, Iran to the southwest, and China to the northeast. It shares a maritime border with Oman in the Gulf of Oman, and is separated from Tajikistan in the northwest by Afghanistan's narrow Wakhan corridor. Beautiful language of Urdu, Islami Jumhuriyat Pakistan, which is read from right to left and is a modified version of the Arabic script, but often written going from high to low. It's very pretty. And we talked about its flag, that's the state emblem. The motto is Iman, Ittihad, Nazam, which is Urdu for faith, unity and discipline. The anthem is Qaumi Tarana, the national anthem. We can see it here. The reason that this particular bit is in light green is because India and Pakistan both claim the regions of Kashmir, Junagadh and Sia Creek. So the capital is Islamabad, largest city however is Karachi. Official languages are Urdu and English, but I think there are others spoken. I think Punjabi is spoken there. Yes, native languages, over 77 different languages. Religion is 96% Islam, 2% Hinduism, 1% Christianity. Demonym is Pakistani. Government is the Federal Parliamentary Islamic Republic. Current president is Asif Ali Zardari. And the Prime Minister is Shehbaz Sharif. They declared independence from the UK. This is a common theme. So the declaration happened on the 23rd of March 1940. The Republic was formed in 1956. And the current constitution was drawn up in 1973. We talked about it being the 33rd largest the largest country for land mass. It has 881,000 square kilometers, which is 340,000 square miles. And the population, a huge 241,499,431, which is fifth largest in the world. And GDP makes it the 27th largest. $1.67 trillion. The currency is the Pakistani rupee. It has a UTC of +5. Calling code is +92. And the internet TLD is either in Latin script .pk for Pakistan or .pakistan in the Urdu language. Pakistan is the site of several ancient cultures, including the 8,500-year-old Neolithic site of Mehrgarh in Balochistan, the Indus Valley civilization of the Bronze Age, and the ancient Gandhara civilization. The regions that compose the modern state of Pakistan were the realm of multiple empires and dynasties, including the Achaemenid, the Maurya, the Kushan, and the Gupta, the Umayyad Caliphate in its southern regions, the Hindu Shahis, the Ghaznavids, the Delhi Sultanate, the Sama, the Shamiris, the Mughals, and finally the British Raj from 1858 to 1947. Raj, I think, loosely means king. Spurred by the Pakistan movement, which sought a homeland for the Muslims of British India, and election victories in 1946 by the All India Muslim League, Pakistan gained independence in 1947 after the partition of British India, which awarded separate statehood to its Muslim majority regions, and was accompanied by an unparalleled mass migration and loss of life. It was incredible what happened, but you need to look that up, it's beyond the scope of this video. Initially a dominion of the British Commonwealth, Pakistan adopted a republican constitution in 1956 and became an Islamic republic with two geographically separate provinces, East Pakistan and West Pakistan. East Pakistan seceded as the new country of Bangladesh in 1971 after a 9-month-long civil war. In the following 4 decades, Pakistan has been ruled by governments that alternated between civilian and military, democratic and authoritarian, relatively secular and Islamist. Pakistan is considered a middle power nation, with the world's 7th largest standing armed forces. It is a declared nuclear weapons state and is ranked amongst emerging and growth leading economies with a large and rapidly growing middle class. Pakistan's political history since independence has been characterized by periods of significant economic and military growth, as well as those of political and economic instability. It is an ethnically and linguistically diverse country, with similarly diverse geography and wildlife. The country continues to face poverty, illiteracy, corruption and terrorism. Pakistan is a member of the United Nations, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the Commonwealth of Nations, the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, and the Islamic Military Counter-Terrorism Coalition, and is designated as a major non-NATO ally by the United States. There we are. So we got through 3 and we took our time and I enjoyed it. We shall continue this in the near future. As I said before, why don't you drop me a little comment to suggest different countries that you want? Where should we go in Europe? We haven't been there yet. Where else? Should we visit the Americas? In Africa? In Asia? Should we go to the Pacific? What would you like to learn a little bit more about on this channel? And of course, if you enjoyed this video, then why don't you give it a little like for me? Hype it up if you understand what any of that means. I don't. Leave that comment, subscribe if you made it this far and you're new to this channel. Clearly you're going to love the other videos that I have already done here for you. And if you really love what I do, and you've been around for a bit and you want to join in the fun, join me on Patreon. The info is in the info box below, so click that to open it. And you get 2 extra videos every month that I don't release on any channel. One of which is a maps video, the other one is a little chat video where I have a catch up with you and a ramble. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you again very, very soon. Take care, sleep well, and thanks for watching.